Blessings to you, my energetic beings, and welcome back to the Musing Moon Meditation. This Musing Moon Meditation is, of course, always dedicated to the lunar energies, the goddess of the night. And as a reflector, I'm very in tune with the moon, the lunar frequencies. But this is just not your average walk in the park full moon. It's the season of Scorpio. The Earth is in Taurus, the Earth star even. Arriving at a mindful degree, 5, protecting and also trusting our thoughts. Loving and trusting and loving. It's like the frequency of like percolating bubbles. It's telepathy, reading the mind, thoughts in our auric field even. So the full moon lunar eclipse in the season of Taurus was bringing our thoughts, our inner world thoughts, possibly telepathically channeling this inside voice into manifestation, procreating, being creative. Trusting our heart to bring the manifestation into the world from the heart and the mind of the energy of Taurus and Scorpio, arriving at 4:24 p.m. Eastern, 3:24 p.m. Central, 2:24 p.m. Mountain, and 1:24, of course, Pacific p.m. But be sure to check your timeline for when the goddess apex is for you, because sometimes I'm out fluttering around. Either way, this lunation will mostly affect those born with personal planets between the degrees of 0, my hero, to the 10 degrees, another hero with a lot of love percolating there. Inshallah and Ashe. Talk about the ghost in the darkness. Either way, divine wills, blessings to you and for you as always. And my name is Tonya D. I am your go-to holistic shaman, medium, and otherworldly life coach, and a reflector by design. I'm a seer to the unseen. And welcome to my virtual medicine room. It is a mystical Monday, and we have a collective energy happening in the gateway, the energy of the cosmos, and in the elemental highway this week. All things percolating. It really is bridging the gap between and aligning your gift and loving and living your gift and your purpose all together. The world appears to be in an existential crisis. Fire is an element of love, passion, and charisma. The other world, spirit, dreams, star, visions. It really is the unseen, being able to see in the unseen. But when fire is out of balance, that's when we have corrupted the streams, universal streams, possibly personal streams, to the world of spirit. The world enters into crisis, and an existential crisis at that. It kind of feels like it's time to play Gandhi. I feel it's this clash between Aquarius and Leo. However, the sun is shining upon Scorpio, the realm of Pluto. So what's hidden in the dark? The deepest of secrets, the ghost in the darkness, the shadow records, the Akashic records, and a lot more. And if you have yet to subscribe, please do here on YouTube. Even my Musing News, where I go live to spill the tea, sipping on a cosmic brew, happening the third Friday of each and every month, coming to an online theater through Zoom. It's all about the elementals and the subtle energies in November. But what elemental boosts my center? You'll receive a fresh email with a link for that. And welcome to the realm of Pluto, a lunar eclipse. I already can feel the intensity of it. Really is some exciting times, the edge of time. Maybe a sandy beach. Did you tune into my ritual yet? My own personal moon is in the season of Scorpio, so I truly am feeling a little bit stoked. I feel as if I'm having a reflector-gasm, if you're picking up what I'm throwing down. Like my bones and my body are literally shaking and rattling. I believe there's some galactic transformation that's happening for me, at least. Hopefully you too. And if you have yet to subscribe to my channel here, go ahead and hit the white rabbit, that white button on YouTube. This is predominantly where I do go live. And I am posting and hosting my podcasts here as well. You can listen to them here on YouTube or go to my website or any other platform that rattles your cage and blows your skirt up. I truly am your otherworldly shamanic reflecting assistant. You are your own healer. I'm a seer into the unseen. I might be seeing something that crossed your path, kind of like a glimmer. I'm thinking of the cat in the Matrix there. But sometimes we do need an otherworldly life coach, another perspective to view in, I would say. Myself included, I'm not void of this course, to really get us out of our own magical way. My daily snippet, my weekly show, let's It used to be a daily show. If you're new to my channel, what do I muse about here? My show is all about the elemental highway, our cosmic insights with the planets. I see the planets as elementals out in the galaxy doing their cosmic dance. And by design, as always, I do follow the lunar energies, the moon, through the seasons, the gates, the houses, and kind of dive in there. I journal with the moon. And we all have intuitive gifts. We've all got gift and we've all got purpose. And when they're aligned by divine design alignment, gift and purpose, they navigate and you just fluctuate with the flow of them. So if you're feeling the call for you too to navigate yours, go ahead and take my Change Your Stars quiz, super fun, to find out your intuitive gift, your order, and which one's at its highest innate value. They're kind of fun, like I said, in the 4 pillars of destiny and the elementals of the day and the pathways as well. And as a reflector, I'm always asking myself, like the solution and the hyper awareness of an environment and time and place and people and so many things. I'm always asking, am I in the right place, in the right time with the right people? And if I'm not, I simply leave, literally. I like to be a hermit, but I also like to be a seer, a wise oracle. Again, back to the matrix, I kind of reflect on that. And what am I seeing or observing that nobody else can see? And what's the movement within the solution that I'm creating all together? So it's kind of this cosmic reflector mapping situation though. And if you're curious how to use the elementals on grid or off this grid, I traditionally use them with ritual, all the elements, I'll say. And I did leave the Rising of the Origins, the portal, open. That's available. But truly the key is always trusting our intuition and mapping out the elements. Change Your Stars is available if you're curious about your intuitive gifts. Some of them may just be off grid, out of this world. The out-of-body energetic centers carry a different flavor and ingredient upon our stage of life and really cleansing our auric field, the etheric body, the etheric highway. More on that a little later. One of the messages comes from the smoke and mirrors. But through the seasons and the gates, I'm always tuning into the moon, following these lunar energies and kind of entering the vortex of the shaman's portal. The moon herself, the goddess of the night, is in Aquarius. So you may even just feel, that could be why I feel actually, this existential, it's like exiting the existential crisis. But what appears to be happening in our outer world, it feels like it's a quantum shaman evolution. That was kind of a download I got over the weekend. But I do truly love the season of Scorpio. I feel like Scorpio kind of gets a bad rap, and it's time to go under the sheets, if you will, and uncover the sheets, forcing ourselves to really dive in a little deeper to those darker places that are hidden, those crevices inside of us, the cracks. The ghost in the darkness is kind of what I call that. Setting or creating a sacred space, a sphere. I would actually say this feels totally like a shaman's cave. So go to those places that may make you feel possibly a lack of trust within yourself. Maybe you need to recycle up some boundaries, make them a little more percolating, I guess, or giving time and space to bubble up over the past year, like going into, I would say going into the past and bringing it forward, going into the future and realigning that. And the in-betweens, the messages are really from the Shaman's Oracle this week, and they're actually quite fitting. This is an inward journey to an outward journey. Our month is a young water dog. I've talked about this before. I guess I could put that up. I'll get to that. But also be sure to just listen to the moon meditation for this lunar eclipse full moon in Taurus. Super exciting. And follow up with the ritual or vice versa. Maybe the ritual first, I would say, whatever your soul feels. Since I unfortunately did not add the elementals in the meditation or during that ritual, I'm actually going to go over that today to spice things up. We are really kind of at the beginning to kind of dig up the trash, anything that's been hiding literally under the sheets, maybe ripping the sheets. I don't know. Do we need a new set of sheets? Possibly. Just posing a question there. So it's time to be embodied and go to those dark places, the ghost and the darkness. Anything that arises or comes out from under the sheets, and don't ask why I'm on sheets, They may have a familiar message that's no longer serving your soul's gift and purpose. So it's time to restitch the fabric of our destiny. Is it hard to line? Do you have a leak or a tear in your sheets possibly? So yeah, just a few announcements there. Of course, on the menu, the little docket, what do I got happening over here? Oh, my little grid isn't liking me. We do have the Scorpio Sacred Spirit Circle meditation that just arrived this morning. That's all. Just kidding. So gratitude and blessings, and thank you for taking my views over 50 frickin' thousand, by the way. That's fantastic. Of course, I need more. You know how this all plays out. But we do have this full moon in Taurus. You watched that in the beginning. And this isn't your everyday walk in the park full moon either. It's that eclipsed lunar one. It's happening at the degree of my own personal North Node. There's feeling like a little Kazemi happening. So I'm feeling like I got to hang on to my bootstraps. Kidding. But the world happens for us, not to us, as things are moving forward. But I created a fantastic ritual. I totally did, to go along with. And we also have a podcast episode. This is Paula Collins. Let's see if I can not make a... Yeah, there she is. This is Paula Collins. And this episode is called Discovering Divine Feminine Energy, knowing that we are empowered. And boy, are we empowered, right? I will have a snippet of the episode right after my show today. Be sure to tune in to the end or watch the whole thing on my channel. And also cowrie shell divinations. I've been doing divinations for a while. Oh, let's move that on over. Whoopsie. Love that. I should maybe do a new one. I just want you to know, as soon as I have an extra funds, I'm going to buy a camera so I can do these live so you can watch the shells. Super fascinating. But cowrie shell divination is an art of divination brought to the West by Elder Maladoma. And if your soul is calling, I do one-on-one sessions, just really connecting you to your, it's like the whispering of the winds of your magic and your medicine and ritual. And if your soul is at a crossroads, I'd for sure schedule one. I do them in person at Crohn's Hollow here in Salt Lake City, Utah, only on Thursdays. You can check that link in my show notes there. But I do them in person, or not in person. I do them online as well through Zoom. So you can schedule there if you need a little one-on-one. And of course, I have other offerings, but those seem to be what's gravitating to people. You can browse my musing corridor. I do believe that we are all stars on the spiritual walk of fame, and sometimes we have energetic hiccups. And it really is time to be the star and illuminate like we should be. We got to bring spirit to matter, energy to matter. If our spirit's floating outside our body, it's hard to take form and manifest outside of us. So that's kind of fascinating, isn't it? So on the elemental highway, we do start this week with a Yang Wood Tiger of a day. It's a Yaya Yin day. That is my own personal day master, so it's feeling pretty spicy. I'm feeling the energies of it. This is also a Wedame energy, the fierce protectors of the wild. This is a solid oak tree. It's full of wisdom, insight. And the rabbit there, it's forces of adversity to a Yaya day master, the yin to the yang. However, the tiger and the rabbit, they're actually friends. They're in eastern direction, which is also wealth, and add the dragon and we have a prosperous boost of wealth to our day. Even at the hour of the dragon, possibly some very insightful dreams, mysticism, and magic. I will say my dreams have been kind of out of this world percolating. But Yangwood Daymasters are actually forward thinkers. They're futuristic. They initiate great change, and they're determined to have the initiation come through. They're leaders. They're innovative leaders. That's what kind of leaders they are. And the tiger is the companion. The day branch is a companion to our day master. That represents our partners, like relationships, partnering. So for our day, our partner is somebody who is actually a true friend. You need to be in relationship or marriage or whatever with a true friend. The Yang Fire is actually an asset. It's a charismatic leader, innovative, passionate kind of person energetically. And the Yang Earth is as if we have something buried deep in the earth. The wealth is very deep. The Hour of the Pig, we kind of release the wealth, abundance, or actually that's when we become a little bit frisky, giggly by my mistake. The pig and the tiger are kind of giggly, just saying. But the hour of the monkey, The monkey is fidgety and the tiger will pounce on the monkey. And the dog on the month, that's wealth. But we do have to get kind of the shovel to dig it out because it's hidden. It's underneath the dog. And the yin metal, that is refined. It really is like a shovel. In the fire energy, yin fire, that's going to be some kind of a radical transformation. The tiger and the dog are actually part of a fire trine. Add the energy, the hour of the horse, which is around noon, 11 to 1, I believe, somewhere around there. Then we got this perfect fire. So this is kind of interesting. And all that fire and all that wood's going to produce a lot of ash, creating more earth. Whoops, I bet you can hear me knocking here. I got a little excited. So this is all happening inside of us. And water represents a wood daymaster's resources, mentors, kind of like gift and purpose, actually. The young water spirit is healthy. It's getting vibrant because we're in the end of the season of metal and we're moving into water. The dog is a transitional energy. The yin water is not so much a friend, by the way, a resource. So kind of be careful. This has been happening for us, different spirits, just depending on the day master. That's kind of the element. So water season, a prosperous season for a wood person, unless of course there's too much water, then the roots become kind of soggy. There's a lot of little characters that play out. So a person may not be in the flow. They may become overly lazy. So is that as well. And the energy of this Taurus full moon, partial, I should say lunar eclipse, that energy, I did pull up that chart. This is the whole Macau here. It's the enchilada. But we do have a very yin earth day and hour. There's lots of earth energy here. So we have an earth transition in period. The energy's there on the cycles and the seasons. And it's our lymphatic system. Earth energy is our lymphatic system. We need to move. It's the only system in our body that doesn't move by sitting. People with a lot of earth energy actually need to move. They don't need a job where they're sitting. But what's funny or ironic about that is this is a nurturing energy, and they tend to be nurses, doctors, people who sit, right? They're caretakers a lot of the time. But they need movement. We need to get some fire out of us, that yin fire in this case, obviously, and all that earth. So nature breaks up the soil and it's in abundance. Yin wood would be like grass breaking into the soil. But this is nurturing our inner world, our inner selves. This is also the gallbladder, I would say. The stomach and the spleen are both in there. So it's about that activation. So yin wood is more about regrets, resentments, coulda, woulda, shoulda kind of feelings. And rabbits produce a lot, right? So the energy of the rabbit is actually breaking up the goat and the dog. And they're all friends, quite honestly. Rabbit, well, I guess not always. Dogs kind of do things to rabbits. But the goats and the rabbits are having a great time. But we still have water there. Water for all this earth. The earth is absorbing it and guiding it. So water is wealth. Abundance is in the flow. Have you subscribed? Just saying. That's a form of abundance in the flow. So we do have a yin wood. So that's our leadership, breaking new ground. And we have an inner candle lit, inner fire. And again, listen to the Taurus moon ritual. I really had fun creating that. I did place a white candle in there, which actually represents the metal energy. I forgot to put this in both my meditations, by the way, for this moon in the ritual. But metal to an earth day, that's our ability to really take action. In this case, it's refined action. It's like the shiny penny, possibly an abrupt action even. And I did create sigils in the candles. You're going to see that in the ritual video. The hour of the ox is more of that energy. It's going to be more released. It's kind of like the nature of things. The hour of the dragon, that's when we release the heart of the matter. We release the fire. And I did use coins in the ritual. Actually, I used all of the elementals. Even lavender is an herb for nature. Be sure to check out my resources on my website for other ideas to utilize essential oils, which you can also use herbs as well instead of essential oils, or a combination. I did patchouli and lavender in the ritual, but for sure be creative. The shaman's portal is mystical empathy. It's creation energy. It's the imaginal realm, visions. I mean, It's super juicy for the elemental highway, right? So we do have first for our mystical Monday energy. Hope I'm gravitating here. The mystical Monday energy. This is crazy. It's smoke and mirrors. It's the smoky mirrors, but that's what it reminds me of. That all things may not appear as they seem. And the 47 there is otherworldly. So spirit is bringing what we love inside of us to the other realms. We're scrubbing away what no longer belongs and returning what we feel in our heart's desire. So we're getting an energetic scrubbing between the etheric mirror, the other side of the etheric mirror, our inner fires, not the fires of the other. Has to do with us. So it implies something that's not immediately known or even seen out into the world. It's under the covers or the sheets. That's probably where that came from. But the magical mystery of life, that's kind of what this is saying, how things really come together, but also fall apart. It truly is the breakdown that gets us to the other side, where we see things with a new set of eyes energetically. So it's break on through to the other side. It really reminds me of the doors. It's the shadow of the ghost in the darkness, especially within our energetic, I almost said psychism, our psyche inside, deep into those crevices, even those little finite parts within ourselves that are kind of cracking. It's kind of like when you cut yourself lightly. The ones we disown, just these secret parts of ourselves that we flick aside, which I feel truly is our secret magic sauce, is like coming together to know our fears. It also represents possibly a state of denial, an inability, even a refusal of something. It's kind of like the three monkeys: hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, kind of a thing. Smoke and mirrors, that really is the etheric highway. So I would be looking into the etheric mirror. That may be where the truth is hiding. In the ghost of the darkness, there is light in there, right? There is always a little bit of light. So it's time for us to really dive deep, go into those crevices, those cracks, those shadow records, even into the Akashic if you want, and discover the stories, the wounds that are really holding you back from being the star that you are, preventing you from seeing the magical truth, the mystical inside of us, the mysticism. The time is actually now, like the clock strike 10, Cinderella. It's in the fabric of our destiny. And these illusions are really our fears, the expectations, or even just expecting disappointment. As a reflector, I'm going to tell you, it's either surprise or disappointment. And what am I feeling about all this? Feeling unworthy, maybe doubtful. It's time to see or go within ourselves. And we do have the ability to really see the mirror, our own authenticity, our pure potential, not just within ourselves, but I truly love to see the potential in others, like gift and purpose rise to the forefront. This really definitely is the etheric mirror for me. It's showing us our glimmers and our glamours. It's time to look into the mirror upon the other side of it and look for the deepest hidden treasures that we have locked away for some ungodly reason that you don't want to see. Possibly something in our programming, conditioning, things that become even more real, but only because we're making it so. The choice is always ours. It's the gift and also the purpose. The world is going to hold us accountable for what we see and also what we create. And if we don't cleanse that cosmic cobweb up, then it falls down to our ancestral lineage. So you might be asking yourself, is this even possible? Can I see through these mirrors? Can I see the truth? So it really is time to explore, have really faith, true faith about this initiation, possibly those even opening doors to those roads less traveled. Do something different, do something otherworldly. Totally fascinating there. And then on Terrific Tuesday, or Talented, I think I've called it both, right? We leave the road less traveled, the smoke and mirrors, and we go to the luminous warrior, which I love. That's kind of like the sun around his head, even though he is otherworldly. But this is being mindful. This is really a master crafter of a mind, one that feels it, believes it, and then you've got an understanding and you know it. You just know it to be true. This is our solar plexus on fire. It's an understanding, and it's coming from the soul's harmonic. You might be getting sigils, actually, sacred geometry, or you might be feeling this in your solar plexus, and then you just get that gut feeling, and you just know it. This truly reminds me of my son. He's got a Gemini moon at the 23rd degree, and he is an Aries, so he really is a vibrant warrior. No enemies, even in this world or other worlds. It's about honoring your word. This is like the 4 agreements, being impeccable and focusing upon shining a light upon what's illuminating. He really is a light warrior, shining light upon what's hiding, what's the ghost in the darkness. Somebody who shines their light even brighter. They have no shadows. They're bright. They don't even cast shadows or spells. They're simply just radiant, vibrant like the sun. They can transform their worst enemy into their greatest ally. And they have this fantastic, mesmerizing, potent energy. So the power actually comes from the sword, which I find fascinating because metal represents our voice, to be heard, speaking our authentic truths no matter what the cost. Sometimes prophetic, often. So we may be tempted by what we feel to follow those lower vibrational instincts, those unhealthy ones. So we're kind of being invited possibly into like a quarrel, a cosmic quarrel, because it's otherworldly. So this might be wrapping up in our head. So it's time to like sheath your sword. Often the enemy is not who we think or believe it may be, and really hold your reins, especially on anger. Anger often gets misplaced or mistriggered, I'll say, or somebody randomly gets mad at you and you don't even know them. Grocery store, road rage, stuff like that. Often, right? That kind of damages a relationship and it creates hurtful words spewing, right? Usually on the ones that actually care about us. So it's time to kind of speak our authenticity, our truth, maybe find your truth, the truth that actually resides in our heart space, being authentic to our own heart, our own soul's harmonic, and really affirm and radiate peace inside of us instead of for war. I mean, this kind of feels like it's the world outside of us, actually, things that are happening outside in the world. It's time to illuminate, radiate our light, be a warrior of light. That's kind of what I sense. And I don't watch the news. I usually watch TikTok. Just saying. I know that probably sounds terrible. However, that's kind of where I go for my news. Okay, on Wizardry Wednesday, we've got fire. Oh my goddess of the day. Honestly, I'm not loving this pattern so far. Just want to say fire with a 9. So this is hidden. It's a hidden initiation, a different act, a behavior that might act out. It is yin fire. It's our heart desires. So be sure to trust and love what you feel and what you sense. The world really is in an existential crisis. That's what fire does when it's out of balance. It consumes all the things, rages out of control. Anything that it touches, it burns, it scorches, the flames, they're here kind of reminding us of our inner fires, the temperature of our inner world fires, if you will, heating us up. The reality of our inner nature. Maybe it's feeling like it wants to rage out of control. And, situations can go from a nice warm fire to a blaze, right? Transform. We have options. It's either going to radiate love and beauty or chaos and drama, raging out of control. But fire is also passion. It's the dancing of the flames. It's the song we can sing in our voice. But we're receiving this invitation to really dance into the light and reach out our light into the sky. This is all about the warmth and the sun and the creation. It's the light. It's the heavenly universe or realm. And too much heat really does scorch, right? It gets way too hot. So it's about the balance. So it's time to step into the energy of fire, the energy, not the physicality. And there's going to be some really beautiful transformation. Something's going to transform. This is like the caterpillar to the butterfly. And do not literally go into a fire. That's just kind of an explanation. It's the ingredient here that I'm sensing, but it's not exactly the transformation that happens, right? It really is. It's the rise of the phoenix. It's coming from the ashes. I love Maleficent for this when she does go from ash into the phoenix. I feel like this is where kind of we're at, especially at this time in the outer world, just observing. It's like we're feeling inflamed. We've got too much fire, but we need to go to the waters becoming consumed and overly fiery is not our greatest asset. Fire emotions, they do backfire. So it's really time to kind of splash the water, simmer those flames, take a breath, and balancing our emotions. It's not a time to act or overly react. It's time to be at peace within those inner flames and find our passion, find our charisma, be your own best friend, soothing your inner soul. This is like spirit to soul, like bringing them together. We don't have to scorch ourselves, get overly burned or inflamed. It's time to tame the flames, possibly purging something that may make us feel inflamed. And then on Tantalizing Thursday, we have what's called the wind. So I find it fascinating because the wind is also connected to nature and fire is connected to lightning. So we might get a bolt of lightning with some wind on ourselves. The winds of change, however, the 63, this is our only not otherworldly message for the week, but this is an open invitation to transform those winds and allow the wind to transform an old belief into a new one, initiating the action of the wind. Maybe we start stirring the air because it's also a symbolization of the element of air. So this is about our thoughts, communication, using our voice, really singing a song, receiving inspiring ideas, positive or negative, yin or yang, actually. And the wind energetically comes from all directions. It speaks a language of its own, carries the feathers and the winds, right? Feathers, air, right? That was actually in my ritual. Different qualities from each, actually. And it doesn't really matter the way the wind is blowing for us or towards us. Organically, the message really is that the wind is whispering, shouting. Nature, when nature's out of control, it shouts. When fire's out of control, it rages. So there's always a discourse, yin yang, on all the elementals as well. It's going towards our soul. So it's part of the nature element, part of the eastern direction mostly. But it's really time to truly face the winds, receiving the bounty and opening up for those lessons. Like we got the memoirs, we got the memo. It's like the winds are calling out for change, transformation. Maybe we need to change our mind about something. Maybe we've got an old way of doing things that's kind of been a little bit overly too familiar. So we really are on the precipice of great transformation, rising from the ashes, becoming clear, having clarity, water, make a new choice, an unfamiliar one. And it really doesn't matter what the change is. It's the transformation. It's going to happen for us. Possibly it's really time to really go to the waters, get clear communication, use your voice, and have a solid, watery foundation. An idea being called to shift or transform or create the idea. But in truth, it's for the highest good of each and every one of us. The highest good for everyone involved. And as we reach our destination right before this eclipsed lunar full moon, I just want to say, we do have a magical message. You cannot make this shift up, which I love. We have completion on Fantastic Friday. So this tells me that the 9 we've like initiated. We are going to we're coming full circle, basically is what I'm saying. Transform or shedding our old skin, or we're coming into new skin. We're coming out back to the butterfly, back to the snakes, transformed, the rise of the phoenix. So that's what this whole week's been saying. Have you noticed? So when we hang on to the old, we only create decay. We like break down. We don't clean up for the harvest. So the fruit's rotting on the vine outside of us. So it's time to let go, get into the flow, really get into the flow. We can only be responsible and take actions and initiations for ourselves. We cannot take the action for others. Grieve what you've lost, drop the backpack, move forward. It really is about embodying ourselves for rising into a phoenix, a new part of who we are, and a snake. You cannot make this up, right? This is the cycle of time, seasons, space. This really is a week of transformation. And I think it's very fitting because we're in the season of Scorpio barely, magically. I would say illuminate, radiate. The winds of change are upon us. The fires are ignited to get our flame flowing, not overly flamey. And we have completed a cycle energetically and spiritually and physically in the body. So it's a season of great change. So, with that, I mean, an affirmation I would say is I am embodying the new, fresh me transformed. So, with that, as always, I say ashe, and then I will play my cute little video here. Be sure to tune in to Paula. It was a great interview, and we did add a sound bath. That's kind of her mystical, magical wisdom. And I've been going to sound baths, so it's been fantastic. So, thanks for that, and enjoy this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. I'm just really excited about it. And again, I'm sure it's something to do with my North Node and a few other hiccups, but make it fantastic. Ashe, blessings.
Yeah, it went on that. And it, like I said, it also depended on what part of the deeper I got into peeling back the layers, the more intense I needed the energy to be, because I was getting into deeper things that was trauma that I had experienced as an adolescent. So it was deeper inner child wounds. And then I also had experienced IET. I'm not sure if you are familiar with that, but that's integrative energy therapy. And it uses the violet angelic light, and it's great for generational and past life trauma. And found out through my Reiki practitioner that I had some stuff I needed to unload there that I didn't even know I was carrying, because we don't know those sort of things. And so, yeah, that was really helpful too. I unloaded a lot.